Hey guys, it's Army Ranger 55555 here with a new video. This is on a good side deck you can run. Now, most decks you'll have your main deck and your extra deck, but you'll see people at tournaments side decking cards in depending on what deck they're going against. Like, say it was going against, I don't know, a heavily trap-based deck. Well, as you can see, my deck, which there are some cards pulled, but I run 10 spell, 10 trap. So it would be kind of difficult for people to add in a side like Royal Decree, because of their deck, just like you'll see this card a lot in Nekroz. Because Nekroz uses no traps, they use all spells. And this negates all other traps in the field. So, that was just a little example I'd give. I'm going to talk about just basic side decks you should have. Most people construct 10 card side decks mostly. My side deck here also includes some cards that I main deck, but can also be used as side deck cards. So first up is Book of Moon. Book of Moon can be run in pretty much any deck. It's a very good card to have. This card will be added into my Yang Zing deck very soon. I have it ordered. I'm waiting for it to come in. The reason this card is part of my whole side deck thing is because it's a quick play card that you can target any monster you want and flip that card into face-on defense position. So here's a good example. Say I were to summon, let's say I were to summon Jiaotu to go into some kind of chain to save myself out of a sticky situation. They could, instead, when I activate it, they can chain on activation, Book of Moon, and because it's quick play, it would go before Jiaotu, flip Jiaotu face down, his effect would be negated, and then I can't flip him back up. So a lot of people will run this card. You'll see this card a lot at tournaments, in tournament decks. Decks I've seen run this a lot. I've seen Ritual Beast run this quite a bit, surprisingly. So, just watch out for a Book of Moon. Next card, Mistake. Mistake is a great card to have run against Nekroz. This is a card that will shut Nekroz down very quickly. Basically, when this card is activated, neither player can add card from deck to hand. Now, if your deck is Nekroz, you would never run Mistake, ever. Ever, ever, never. This card is a very good card to run against Nekroz, and you can even run it, a deck that would run very good against this. You can use this on, just Nekroz is like the top deck to run this against. You will see a lot of Yang Zing decks run Mistake, like mine. Mine does not run Mistake because I do not encounter Nekroz as often as I used to. But I used to run triple. So, next card, basic card. You can main deck this, like I'm main decking it now. But you can also side deck this card and side it in whenever you want. This is Solemn Warning. Pay 2,000 life points, negate a special summon, or spell or trap card activation. This card is very, very helpful in situations. Especially, so say you're going against someone in a mirror match who's using Yang Zing. If they were to go into Jiaotu and summon, let's say they were to summon Trish. No matter what, even if you use Bixie on the summon and it's unaffected by traps, it wouldn't be on the field yet. So, you can negate it and get rid of it. It's very, very good to run in main deck. I love this card. This card can get me out of some really sticky situations. I've used it quite a bit. Next card, this is an older card that came out of, I think it originally came out of the Joey's deck set, actually. It's called Impassable Iron Wall. This used side against Ritual Beast. This card is very, very, very helpful against Ritual Beast. It can help you against stopping Nekroz too. Any banished deck that requires banishment, this screws over. Basically, neither player can banish. Which, in my deck, that's awesome. That means they can't stop my graveyard. So, this card is great to run against Ritual Beast. You will shut them down just so lightning fast. Next card, a lot of people run this main deck. This is Vanity's Emptiness. This is a great card to run in your side or main if they're doing a lot of special summoning, like my deck does. Basically, neither player can special summon. This card is destroyed, though, when a card leaves your side of the field. So you have to be kind of careful with that. and a lot of people will MST this card. So, next card, I already talked about Royal Decree. Great to run against Nekroz, or run in Nekroz, I mean. Sorry about that. Nekroz will run this card religiously. It's not limited, so they can run 3, and they will stop you dead in your tracks if you're running a trap-based deck, like Trap Tricks. You are screwed. Next card, I used to main this card. I don't anymore. I side it. I took it out for Solemn. This card is Compulsory Evacuation Device, or CED. The entire point of this card, return a monster from the field to hand. This can be great to stop an effect because this has a higher spell speed than most monster effects unless it's a quick effect. So, let's say I had Yazi out. Yazi's effect, I can target one of my monsters, destroy it, and destroy an opponent's monster. Well, for me, that's an instant +2, because I'm getting a free monster on the field, plus they're losing a monster. Well, if I were running this, and the other person ran CED, the second I activated that effect, they would say, nope, you're done, and CED it instantly. It'd be gone. And it can be really annoying when you're running this against, well, I can't use Yazi as an example because he can't be targeted by card effect and this targets, but you should know what I mean by now. This card is great to run side deck. I would not recommend maining this card unless you absolutely have to, or you feel confident in your main deck. Next card, this card I run in my Yang Zing deck. It is a very great card to have if you're willing to lose monsters. TT, Torrential Tribute. You'll use this card in Yang Zing decks everywhere. If the Yang Zing deck doesn't run TT, there's no point. It's like a trap dark hole, pretty much. When a monster or monsters are summoned, destroy all monsters on the field. This card is great to have in a Yang Zing deck, and most decks do not like it. One deck that hates this card, and I know it for a fact, actually, is Ritual Beasts. They hate it, because when they're going into their contact and defusing stage, where they're going to build up their field, pop this bad boy, take out 4 monsters at once, you have a very good advantage. Next card, this card is main decked a lot, is not side decked a lot, but should be, is Bottomless. Destroy and then banish a monster that was summoned with 1500 or more attack. This card I've used quite a bit. I think one of the main situations I like using it in is against Construct, against Shaddolls, because I just go, boop, bye Construct. So, this card can be run in any deck. You will see it run in Trap Tricks a lot because, of course, it's a trap hole. This card is limited at 1. It has been for a while. I believe it's at 2 in OCG format now. But, great card to run side deck. Last card, you'll see that it's main decked in a lot of Yang Zing decks, is Skill Drain. This card is not limited at all in the OCG format, but unfortunately it's limited to 1 in the TCG format. The reason this card is great to run, negate all monster effects on the field. Well, Yang Zings are pretty good at making synchro monsters unaffected by trap cards. So, use Bixie, Jiaotu, Pulao, Armades. Armades unaffected by trap cards. Armades can pretty much, or well, better example. Go into Beals. He's unaffected by it. He can do whatever he wants. He's Beals. Oh, that's not Beals. This is Beals. Yeah. Beals can do whatever he wants. Cards I have seen side deck that I did not put in this video. I have seen cards like Fiendish Chain right here. Fiendish Chain is one that's been side decked quite a bit. I run 2 main deck. You don't need more than 2 in my honest opinion, because there's various ways this can become dead space. Call the Haunted is another one that's very oftenly side decked. I do not run that card in this deck because that creates dead space. Most people usually only run 2-to-1 MST, so most people side deck in another one, or if they're running 3 but need more, they'll side deck in the card Twister. Twister is a very good card to have as a backup plan. Even though you pay 500 life points, you can destroy a card. It's basically MST with a pay. I have seen Dark Hole side decked quite a bit. I don't believe that is a side deck card. If you're not going to run it main deck, you shouldn't side deck it. The only reason TT is because TT is a trap card that can be used in better situations than Dark Hole. So, I mean, essentially it is the same thing, but I've also seen the card Danko Seka. me and my friends call it Big Mama Danko because of her pretty overpowered effect. Basically, when she's on the field and you control no spell or trap cards, aka Nekroz, basically your opponent cannot activate any set spell or trap cards or activate. Or I believe you can activate, but they can't be set. So, yeah. So this has been my video on side deck cards. If you have any ideas on side deck cards, please post in the comments. I'm always listening. I'd like to find some more side deck cards for this deck. If you have any ideas, just put it in the comments. I did add some new cards to this deck. You've noticed that Solemn Book of Moon is in there. I did go buy those. I'm waiting for them to come in. Another card. I ordered a Trish Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Now that's limited to 1 instead of being banned, which is great. Waiting on my Soul Charge now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. This is Army Ranger 55555 signing out. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.